guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today, far muna ulit tayo and we will discuss our second topic, which is all about current liabilities. So obviously, on this topic, di-discuss natin, we will identify sinong liability ang current, sino ang non-current. Also on this topic, we will discuss the specific accounting procedures and treatment on specific types of current liabilities. Okay, so let us start. So for our topic outline, ang una natin i-discuss would be what are liabilities first. Kailangan natin malaman muna ano ba ang isang liability. Pangalawa, we will discuss the measurement of liabilities. And pangatlo, we will discuss the classification of liabilities according to FS presentation. So sa third topic na yan yung pag-uusapan natin sino ang current liability, sino ang non-current. Okay. So liabilities according to the conceptual framework for financial reporting are defined as present obligations of an entity arising from past transaction or events, the settlement of which is expected to result in an outflow from the entity of resources embodying economic benefits. Wow, ang lalim, sir. So to understand that definition, himay-himayin natin siya in discussing the essential characteristics of a liability. Okay, always remember number one, liabilities are present obligation. Actually, what the standard, what the framework requires us to understand is that hindi kailangan alam mo kung sino ang babayaran mo. In other words, the identification of the payee is not required. What is required in order for you to recognize a liability is that the entity acknowledges, the entity knows it has a liability. Okay, kumbaga sa Tagalog, ang gusto sabihin ng standard, ang mahalaga, alam mong may obligasyon ka. Hindi mahalaga kung kanino. Kasi there are some types of liability na alam mong liable ka, pero hindi mo pa alam kung kanino. Okay, so pag-uusapan natin yan, specifically ang gusto kong i-point out doon would be provisions or estimated liabilities. Okay, those are liabilities of uncertain timing or amount. So pag-uusapan natin on our next discussion. Pero ang gusto kong i-point out, pag sinabing liability, present obligation ng entity yan. So ang mahalaga, kailangan yung entity alam niyang may obligasyon siya. Hindi requirement na alam niya kung kanino siya may obligasyon. Okay, pangalawa, all liabilities arise from past transactions or events. Okay, ibig sabihin niyan, in order for an entity to recognize a liability, it should have been incurred. Okay, kailangan na incur na ang liability before an entity recognize it. And that past transaction or event that create a present obligation is known as an obligating event. I'll repeat, yung past transaction or event na yan na nagke-create ng liability o nagke-create ng present obligation is known as your obligating event. And that obligating event could create a legal obligation or a constructive obligation. We will discuss what is a legal and constructive obligation specifically pagdating natin sa provisions. Pero for now, as an introduction, pag sinabing legal obligation, ito yung mga obligation arising from law or arising from contract. Pag sinabing constructive obligation, ito yung mga obligation na nag-a-arise through entities action. Ano ibig sabihin nun, sir? For example, premiums liability. Ano ang liability mo? Ang liability mo would be yung to be distributed premiums in the future. For example, isa kang soft drinks manufacturer. In-announce mo na kapag merong isang customer na makakapagbalik ng 1,000 piraso ng Tansan, bibigyan mo siya ng libreng jacket. Parang Willy lang no? Bibigyan mo siya ng libreng jacket. So yung libreng jacket na ibibigay mo in the future, that is known as premium. Kaya ka nagkaroon ng liability o magkakaroon ka ng liability from the moment na nakabenta ka na ng tansan. Kasi kapag ng tansan, ng produkto mo, which is soft drinks. Kasi pag nagbebenta ka na ng soft drinks, entitled na sila, makakuha sila ng tansan. In the future, pag nakaipon sila ng 1,000 tansan, meron ka ng liability to give them that jacket. And that jacket is your premium. Kung titingnan mo, wala kayong kontrata ng customer. Walang batas na nagsasabi magbigay ka ng jacket. So definitely, bakit ka nagkaroon ng obligation? Bakit ka nagkaroon ng liability? Because of your action. And your action is that nag-announce ka na magbibigay ka ng jacket pag nakapagbalik sila ng 1,000 na piraso ng tansan ng soft drinks na binibenta mo. Okay, so again, that transaction or event is known as the obligating event, and that obligating event could create either a legal obligation or constructive obligation. Pangatlo, lahat ng liability, pag sinettle natin, it will require an outflow of economic resources. Okay, it will require. Kaya nga pansinin mo, ang definition ng asset, papasok o pagpasok ng economic benefit. Ang liability naman, paglabas. Kaya nga accounting, sobrang dali lang kung titignan mo eh. Ang ina-account mo lang sa accounting, pasok-labas lang eh. Pag pumasok yung benefit, asset yun. Pag lumabas, liability yun. Di ba napakasimple ng accounting eh. Nagiging komplikado lang ang itsura ng accounting kasi maraming technical terms na kailangan mo intindihin. Pero basically, kasi alam naman natin na conceptual framework, basic concept yun eh. Ang mga definition nasa basic concept. Kung papansin mo sa basic concept, ang dinidiscuss lang nun, pasok-labas lang eh. Kaya nga, ang pasok, pwedeng debit o credit, depende sa item. Ang labas, pwedeng debit o credit din. Diba, napakasimple ng accounting. Anyways, let me go back to what I am discussing. So, sabi ng number 3, lahat ng liability, pag sinettle, will require an outflow of economic resources. And when we say settlement could be in any of the following form. Number 1, it could be payment of cash or transfer of cash. Pangalawa, pwede mo raw isettle ang liability kung wala kang cash, pwede mo ipambayad non-cash asset. O kaya naman kung wala kang cash, wala kang non-cash asset, wala ka talagang ari-arian, para mawala ang liability mo, you can provide future services. Okay, so yun lang o tatlo lang yun sa mga paraan para masettle ang isang liability. At kung titingnan mo, wala doon sa tatlong yon ang issuance of shares. Kaya nga yung number 3 characteristic na yan differentiates a stock dividends payable. Even though payable ang ginamit na term, stock dividends payable is not a liability account, but rather an equity item. Pag nasa equity na tayo, you will learn that stock dividends payable is an additional share capital account. It is not a liability account. Bakit? Ano bang liability mo sa stock dividends payable? Di ba ang obligation mo is to issue shares? So mawawala lang ang iyong liability if you will issue shares. Wala naman sa listahan ng settlement ng liability ang pag-i-issue ng shares. So generally, stock dividends payable is not a liability. Another reason kung bakit hindi liability yan, kasi wala namang lumabas sa iyo eh. Take note ha, masisettle mo yan pag nagbigay ka ng shares. Which is, kung titingnan natin, wala namang lumabas na economic benefit sa kumpanya if you will settle a stock dividends payable. So basically, that would be the reason kung bakit hindi siya liability. Okay? So that would conclude our definition. What is a liability? Kasi kailangan matutunan muna natin ano ang liability bago natin i-discuss what is a current liability and etc. etc. Okay, next, let us proceed to measurement. How do we measure liabilities? Okay, so gumawa ulit ako dito ng table as a summary kung paano natin i-measure ang liability. First, you need to classify the liability kung financial ba siya o non-financial. We will create a separate discussion para malaman kung financial liability siya o hindi. Pero to give you a background, ang mga financial liability would be your notes payable, loans payable, bonds payable. Samantalang yung non-financial liability, basically ang laman niyan, provisions. Okay? So again, we will discuss what is a financial and non-financial liability on some other video lecture. But for now, mapapansin mo naman sa problem solving yan kung financial siya o non-financial. Ang financial liability, hatiin mo pa into two. nandyan yung FBPL, saka financial liabilities at amortized cost. Take note, walang financial liabilities at fair value through OCI. Ang FVOCI classification, sa financial asset lang po yun, sa asset side lang. Sa liability side, dalawa lang po ang classification, FBPL lang or at amortized cost. Paano ko malalaman, sir, kung FBPL ang isang investment, sorry, hindi pa investment to. Paano ko malalaman kung FBPL ang isang financial liability? Number 1, sasabihin ng problem. That is what we call as irrevocable designation. Pangalawa, para malaman mo kung FBPL siya, pag sinabi ng problem na that the liability is held for trading, so ibig sabihin FBPL po ang classification ng financial liability. Kung titingnan natin, ang financial liability at FBPL is initially and subsequently measured at fair value. Kung titingnan natin, hindi na naman kasama ang transaction cost because any transaction cost incurred by the entity is always expense kapag ang liability is a financial liability at FBPL. Samantalang kapag at amortized cost siya, kapareho nung sa asset, kung sa asset plus yung transaction cost, this time minus kasi nasa liability tayo. At ang subsequent measurement ng financial liabilities at amortized cost would be amortized cost. And this is common sense. Kaya amortized cost yan kasi dadaan yan ng amortization. Ang FBPL simula umpisa sa asset side, hindi talaga yan ina-amortize. Pero magbabago ang amount niya, magbabago ang balance niya if there would be a change in fair value. And your gain or loss on changes in fair value will be presented in profit or loss. Samantalang ang financial liability at amortized cost, since nagbabago ang balance niya through amortization, hindi applicable sa kanya yung fair value changes. Okay, next. Pagdating naman sa interest expense, always remember this. Sabi ko nga last time, lahat ng bagay na ina-amortize o dumadaan sa amortization, ang interest niyan is always based on effective interest rate. Samantala ang financial liabilities at FBPL, since hindi dumadaan sa amortization yan, ang interest expense niyan is based on the nominal rate. Okay, so kung papansinin mo, halos na pag-usapan na natin to on our last topic, which is investment in debt securities. Yun nga lang, nasa asset side yon, this time nasa liability side tayo. Okay, next. Pagdating sa non-financial liability, such as provisions, ang initial saka subsequent measurement niyan would be the best estimate of cash outflow. Okay, whether initial or subsequent. Are these liabilities being amortized? The answer is maybe. Depende. Kung ang initial measurement, kasi merong mga non-financial liability ng initial estimate o ang best estimate present value. May mga non-financial liability naman na ang best estimate face value. Depende. Kung naka-initially measured siya at present value, then definitely dadaan sa amortization niya. Pero kung naka-face value siya initially, hindi na kailangan dumaan sa amortization. And definitely, kung dadaan ka sa amortization, hindi na applicable sa iyo ang fair value changes. And pagdating sa interest expense, usually effective, lalo na kapag ang liability is initially measured at present value. Okay? So, always remember this measurement. Ito ay magagamit natin sa mga future topic pa natin sa liability. Okay? Always remember this table. Okay? So, ang pinaka-focus talaga natin would be measurement and classification. As we finish measurement, pag-usapan natin ang transaction cost. Transaction costs are your directly attributable costs in the issue of your financial liability. And when we say, or when we talk about transaction costs, it includes the following amount and it excludes the following amounts. Okay? Just be familiar with them. Kasi obvious naman na hindi transaction cost yung tatlong yan eh. Financing cost is not a transaction cost kasi interest expense yan. Interest expense is not a directly attributable cost. Alam naman natin simula umpisa yan. Lalo na ang administrative expenses. Hindi talaga yan transaction cost or directly attributable cost. Okay? Nakalimutan ko rin pala dyan, hindi kasama sa transaction cost ang income taxes. Ang kasama sa transaction cost, transfer or transaction taxes. Okay, such as documentary stamp tax and etc. Pero yung income taxes, hindi po directly attributable cost yon or transaction cost. Okay, dito na halos iikot yung usapan natin. Let us discuss your classification of liability in accordance with their presentation on the financial statements. At alam natin, ang liability pinipresent sa balance sheet. At sa balance sheet presentation, ang classification ng liability is into current or non-current liability. So, paano ko malalaman, sir, kung current pa ang liability o hindi? Ang gagamitin natin dito as our reference would be PAS1. PAS1 is your standard for FS presentation and preparation. And according to PAS1, an item of liability is classified as current if it met any. Take note, hindi ola, ang ginamit na word ng standard, any. Okay, any of the following criteria. So, meron tayong 4 na criteria pag-uusapan at kahit na isa lang ang ma-meet dito, automatic current yung liability. Okay, number 1, the entity expects to settle the liability within the entity's normal operating cycle. Yung mga liabilities na sinisettle within operating cycle are known as your trade liabilities or trade payables. Pag trade payable ang nakita mo, automatic, that is classified as a current liability. Kasi sinesettle sila within the entity's normal operating cycle. Okay, next. If the entity holds the liability primarily for the purpose of trading. So, criteria number 2 is the reason kung bakit ang FBPL na liability or financial liabilities at fair value through profit or loss is classified as a current liability. That is because of criteria number 2. Pangatlo, the liabilities to be settled within 12 months after the reporting period. Okay, if the liability, take note, always remember this, kapag ang liability trade payable, generally, current na kagad yon. Bakit? Kasi kahit na lumagpas ng 12 months ang maturity nung liability na yon, since trade siya, madalas current siya kasi sinisettle siya within operating cycle. Mag-a-apply lang ang number 3 criteria para sa mga non-trade payables. Kapag non-trade payables, para maging current, kailangan masettle siya within 12 months. Pero ang trade payable, kahit lagpas 12 months pa, generally current liability yan. Unless sinabi ng problem na itong trade payable na to, lagpas operating cycle ang settlement, ay non-current na siya. Kasi automatic, pag lagpas operating cycle, generally it is also more than 12 months. Okay, unless otherwise sinabi ulit ng problem. Okay, 4. Yung pang-4 na criteria. Actually, yung pang-4 na criteria medyo mahirap intindihin eh. The 4th criteria would be the entity does not have an unconditional right to defer settlement of the liability for at least 12 months after the reporting period. Sira nang ibig sabihin no? Okay, pasimplihin na lang natin. Pag ang ibig sabihin ng number 4, the entity does not have a right to defer. Sa Tagalog, wala siyang kakayahan o wala siyang karapatang ipagpaliban ang pagbabayad ng liability. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Well, let me give you an example in order for you to understand number 4. For example, meron kang kumparing lumapit sa'yo. Okay, sabi ng kumpare mo, naku pare, namumroblema ako. Kailangan ng pang-tuition ng inaanak mo. Magkano ba yung tuition? Tinanong mo. Sabi, naku, kailangan ko ng 50,000. So, syempre, dahil kumpare mo siya, best friend mo siya simula pagkabata, hindi ka nagdalawang isip pahiramin. Okay, pinahiram mo ng 50,000 pesos. Tinanong ka ng kumpare mo. Okay, sabi sa'yo ng kumpare mo, pare, kailan ko ba ito babayaran? At ang sagot mo, ikaw ang bahala. The mere fact na sinabi mong ikaw ang bahala sa taong nangutang sa'yo, mas malamang hindi yan magbabayad kagad. Sinabi mo ako bahala, and generally ang nature ng tao pagdating sa utang matagal magbayad. At kapag sinabi mong ikaw ang bahala, binigyan mo yung tao ng karapatan na ipagpaliban o you gave him the right to defer the settlement of the liability. At kapag may kakayahan ang tao mag-defer ng settlement, automatic non-current liability yon. Kasi ang sabi ng standard, kailangan wala kang karapatang ipagpaliban. Unless, ingat lang ha, unless binigyan mo siya ng karapatang magpaliban o you gave the other party a right to defer the settlement, pero yung right to defer niya is less than 12 months. kahit na may right to defer pero less than 12 months, current liability pa yon. So, ibig sabihin, para maging non-current ang liability, number 1, meron siyang karapatan to defer the settlement. And number 2, yung kanyang karapatan is at least 12 months. Pag sinabing at least 12 months, that could be 12 months or more. Kasi kung may karapatan siya ipagpaliban pero less than 12 months, I'll repeat, current liability pa rin yun. Mamaya ipapaliwanag ko yan pagdating natin sa breach of covenant. Okay, dyan nakapattern kasi yung breach of covenant. Okay? So again, kapag wala sa 4 na criteria na to ang na-meet nung liability, then automatically that liability is a non-current liability. Okay? So i-discuss natin what are the examples. Sino-sino ba ang liability na current? Take note, itong nakalagay sa listahan na to, hindi to all-inclusive. Okay? These are just examples. Pero halos lahat naman na nabanggit ko. Okay? Pero hindi ko pwedeng sabihin na lahat talaga. Okay, so number 1 is trade and other payables. Sir, bakit merong nakalagay na letter A? Lahat ng liability sa listahan na may letters, ibig sabihin, yun yung specific na current liability na pag-uusapan natin in terms of its accounting procedures and accounting treatment. Okay, so ibig sabihin yung walang letter sa pangalan, generally, madadaanan na lang natin yan on our exercises. Pero yung pag-uusapan natin specifically, yun yung mga items na merong letter sa pangalan nila. Okay, number 1 would be your accounts payable. Okay, next, financial liabilities held for trading. Sabi ko nga, current liability yan because of criteria number 2. If the liabilities being held for trading, yung number 1, yung trade and other payables, bakit siya naging current liability? Kasi siya ay trade. Sabi ko nga, pag trade payable, generally, current yan kasi ito yung mga liability na sinisettle within normal operating cycle. Next, current portion of long-term debt. Pag sinabing current portion of long-term debt, ito yung mga liability na binabayaran in installment. For example, nangutang ka ng 1 million. Yung 1 million babayaran mo in 5 years. Hulug-hulugan siya taon-taon. So, taon-taon, 200,000 ang babayaran mo. So, ibig sabihin, ang current portion nun, 200,000. Lahat ng hindi mo pa babayaran next year, yun yung mga non-current portion to be presented within non-current liability. Okay, next, short-term borrowing. Ito yung mga short-term bank loans. Pag long-term bank loans, malamang non-current yun. Current provisions, ito na. Pag sinabing provisions, these are your estimated liability. Hindi kasi lahat ng provision current. Okay, sino-sino ba sir yung mga provisions or estimated liability na current? Generally, number 1, premiums liability, current yan. And then number 2, warranty liability. All other provisions, depende na lang sa problem solving. Okay, pero yung dalawang yon would be generally a current liability. Okay, next, current tax liability. Pag sinabi nating tax liability, it could be a current tax or deferred tax. Ang deferred tax, always remember, it is always presented as a non-current liability. Okay, financial liabilities held for trading, inulit ko pala. Okay, pabebe ako doon. Next is bank overdraft. Alam naman natin, pinag-usapan nyo yan sa cash and cash equivalents. Ang bank overdraft is generally a current liability. Unless, kung naalala mo sa cash, merong ilang exceptions para ang bank overdraft maging cash item pa rin. Pag naging cash item siya, paminor siya sa cash. Pero pag walang sinabi o hindi siya pumasok sa exception, o kapag ang problem ay silent, current liability talaga yan. Okay, next, ito rin, credit balances in AR. Ang AR, ang normal balance, debit. Pag nag-credit balance yan, ang credit balance will be presented as a current liability. Ganun din sa AP. Ang AP, credit balance. Kapag nagkaroon ng debit balance ang AP, yung debit balance, current asset naman yun. Okay, so baliktaran silang dalawa. Next would be unearned income realizable within 12 months. Actually, the word unearned income and deferred income are interchangeable. Pero technically speaking kasi, lalo na pag nakita mo sa exercises or multiple choice questions yan, nakita mo mayroong item unearned income. merong isang item, deferred income. Pag silent sila as to maturity, ang current liability unearned. Usually kasi ginagamit yung salitang deferred income kapag yung income marirealize for more than 12 months. Deferred madalas ang ginagamit. Unless sinabi ng problem, deferred income realizable within 12 months, ay current liability yon. Pero pag silent lang nakalagay deferred income, tapos may unearned income pa, malamang yung unearned income yung current, deferred income non-current. Okay, next, accrued expenses, syempre, current liability yan. Long-term debt, currently maturing. Ang pinagkaiba nito sa current portion of long-term debt, yung current portion of long-term debt, ito yung mga payable in installment. Yung long-term debt currently maturing, ito yung hindi payable in installment, kaso isang taon na lang ang natitira bago siya mag-mature. So kung isang taon na lang matitira, papasok siya sa criteria number 3, which is payable within 12 months. Okay, refundable deposits, yes, that would be a current liability. Payroll taxes payable, ito yung withholding taxes, SSS payable, and etc. na wini-withhold sa'yo ng employer mo. As well as yung kanyang contribution din sa SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig. Yun yung mga payroll taxes payable. VAT payable, and then escrow liability. Okay, so these are just examples of your current liability, but again, these are not all inclusive. Okay? So last two discussions na tayo bago natin siya i-apply sa sample exercises natin. Okay, pag-usapan natin yung dalawang topic na to na nakakaapekto sa classification ng liability. Number 1 would be the refinancing of currently maturing obligation. Tanggalin mo muna yung salitang refinancing. Okay, pag sinabing currently maturing obligation, automatic o general rule, ang currently maturing obligation, current liability talaga yan. Bakit? Kasi currently maturing nga eh. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga liability na magmamature next year. Pero ano ibig sabihin ng refinancing, sir? Sabi ng standard, refinancing may be done through extension of maturity date or through issuance of bonds, the proceeds of which is used to settle the currently maturing obligation. Actually, ito yung madalas na ginagawa ng mga nanay eh. No? Madalas ginagawa ng nanay mo to. For example, meron siyang utang. Ang gagawin niya, mangungutang siya sa iba, yung nakuha niyang pera doon sa pinangutang niya sa iba, ipambabayad niya sa utang na magmamature ngayon. So, ang technical pala nun, sir, yes, that is what we call as refinancing. Madalas ginagawa ng mga nanay yun eh. May utang ka, sinisingil ka na ngayon. Okay, so ang gagawin mo, kung wala kang pambayad, uutang ka muna sa iba. And then yung napangutang mo, ipangtatapal mo muna ngayon. So, that is what we call as refinancing. Wow, ang ganda pala pakinggan nun. O sasabihin ko na sa nanay ko, ma, you can do now your refinancing. That is what we call as refinancing. Anyways, so kung titingnan mo, parang technically speaking, hindi naman nawala talaga yung utang. Tama? Parang nandyan pa rin yung utang. Ang nangyari, humaba tuloy yung time bago mo siya bayaran. Kaya nga, refinancing generally affects the classification of your liability. Kaya nga, ang exception natin would be, pag pumasok ka dito sa criteria na to, yung current liability magiging non-current na. Kasi kung hindi naman dumaan sa refinancing yung liability, current na siya kasi magmamature na siya next year. Pero pag dumaan sa refinancing, it becomes now a non-current liability if it met any of the following condition. Number 1, the company has the prerogative, option, and conditional right to refinance the liability. Ito yung tinatawag nating right to refinance or right to defer. Diba ang sabi natin kanina sa umpisa, sa criteria number 4, kailangan wala kang right to defer. Kasi kung may right to defer ka, automatic o generally, non-current liability ka. Pangalawa, pwede namang wala kang right to defer o wala kang right to refinance. Pero nag-refinance ka on or before the balance sheet day. Okay, so again na any of the following criteria. To summarize this one, para mas mabilis mo siyang maintindihan, gumawa ako dito sa next slide ng parang concept map. Para mas mabilis mo siyang matandaan pagdating sa rules on refinancing. Para malaman mo kung current o non-current yung liability, first, you must go back to the general rule. Ang general rule, kapag dating sa currently maturing obligation, current liability yan. Then, the next thing that you will check, kung meron bang right to defer o wala. kapag merong right to defer with unconditional right to refinance the liability, wag ka na mag-isip, non-current yon. Okay, kasi nga na-break mo yung criteria number 4 nung PAS1 na dapat walang right to defer. Pero pag may right to refinance o right to defer, non-current ka na kagad. Paano sir kung walang sinabi ang problem na right to defer? That's the time that you will check kailan nangyari ang refinancing. Kanina, ang sabi nung last slide, para maging non-current liability, kung wala kang right, dapat nakapag-refinance ka on or before the balance sheet date. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nag-refinance ka on or before, non-current liability ka pa rin, kahit na wala kang right to defer or right to refinance. Pero kung wala kang right to refinance or right to defer, tapos nag-refinance ka after year-end, that's the time na ikaw ay mananatiling current liability. Kumbaga, doon sa with unconditional right, sa ka nag-refinance on or before, those are considered as adjusting events. Bakit sinabing adjusting events, sir? Kasi in-adjust mo yung classification ng liability. Diba? Without this event, ano ang general classification niya? Current. Pero dahil naging non-current, adjusting event yon. In-adjust mo yung classification ng liability. Okay, so again, I'll repeat. Sa rules on refinancing, tignan mo muna kung may right to refinance o wala. Kapag meron, automatic non-current. Pag wala, tignan kung kailan nag-refinance. Is it on or before or after December 31 or year-end? Okay, next. Last na, then we will apply this to our sample exercises. Okay, last na would be breach of covenants or breach of contracts, or in other book, breach of agreement. Okay, always remember, if the company breach a covenant or contract according to law on obligation, the obligation becomes immediately demandable. Pag sinabing immediately demandable, pwede ka na kaagad singilin, pwede ka na kaagad singilin. So, ibig sabihin, if you kapag ikaw ay pwede nang singilin kaagad, then the liability is considered as a current liability. So, to summarize it, if there is a breach of covenant, general rule, current liability ka na because the liability becomes immediately demandable. Pero syempre, alam naman natin, meron ulit yang exception. Okay, number 1, kapag binigyan ka ng grace period, okay, for at least 12 months, and take note, hindi to or, hindi or. Take note, ang ginamit ay and. Provided yung grace period binigay sa'yo on or before the balance sheet date. Kasi kung nagbigay ng grace period, tapos after December 31 o after balance sheet date, mamaya sa summary, mapapansin mo, current liability ka pa rin. Para maging non-current liability ka, kailangan dalawa yung mamit mo. Okay, kaya nga pag sinamarize natin yan, okay, pag sinamarize natin itong FS classification na to, tignan mo muna kung merong grace period na binigay. Kapag walang grace period na binigay, then malamang hindi ka pumasok sa exception, general rule ka, current liability ka. Okay, pero kapag may grace period na binigay, pag binigyan ka kasi ng grace period, binigyan ka ng karapatan to defer eh. Okay, pero yun nga lang, tignan mo, kailan ka binigyan ng karapatan? Is it on or before or after? Kasi kapag after balance sheet date yan, huwag ka na mag-isip, non-adjusting event yan. Mananatili kang current liability. Pero kung binigay ang grace period on or before, hindi rin automatic non-current liability yon. Kasi pwedeng ang grace period less than 12 months. Diba kanina sa criteria, pansinin mo, diba ang ginamit na word sa criteria, if the creditor agreed to give the debtor a grace period for at least, take note, at least 12 months. Hindi bababa sa 12 months dapat. So pag bumaba ng 12 months yung grace period na binigay, mananatili pa rin siyang current liability. Ito yung rule na sinasabi ko kanina. Pag may grace period ka kasi, may right to defer ka. Pero dapat yung right to defer mo at least 12 months in accordance with criteria number 4 under PAS1. Kasi kung binigyan ka ng grace period o right to defer pero less than 12 months, sabi ko nga kanina, current liability ka pa rin. Ito yung rule na sinasabi ko. Kaya kahit na binigyan ka ng grace period on or before, kung less than 12 months naman yun, let us say 8 months o 6 months, current liability pa rin yun. Kasi kung isipin mo, magbabayad ka pa rin next year. Kailangan hindi ka magbayad next year para maging non-current liability siya. Ibig sabihin, dapat ang napag-usapan yung grace period is equal or more than 12 months. That's the time na ikaw ay magiging non-current liability. Pero ingat lang, dapat kailan binigay yung grace period? On or before. Kasi kahit na binigyan ka ng grace period na lagpas 12 months, kung after naman ng balance sheet date yan, walang effect yun, mananatili ka pa rin current liability. Okay? So let us apply what we have discussed regarding FS classification. Let us answer 2 sample exercises. Okay, let us proceed to sample exercise number 1. Freya had the following accounts taken from the balance sheet as of December 31, 2019. And as we can see, bago mo tignan yung mga given information, ang ating rule sa financial accounting, always check first the requirement. Kasi may mga items na panggulo lang. Okay, naman may mga amount na sobrang panggulo, nililito ka lang para mapatagal yung computation mo, hindi naman pala kailangan. Kaya ang unang i-check mo dapat, requirement. And the requirement would be how much is the total current liability. Okay, isa-isahin natin Cash in bank. Sir, ang cash in bank liability ba? Naku, sasapakin kita pag sinabi mong liability yan, asset yan. Okay, cash yan Oo, edi dapat ignored ko na yan, sir. Yan ba yung sinasabi mong panggulo? Yung cash in bank talaga, asset yan. Totally panggulo. Pero kung titinan mo kasi, may bank overdraft. Di ba ang bank overdraft, pag silent, that is classified as a current liability. So, hindi talaga totally panggulo yung cash in bank. Next, trade accounts receivable. Pag sinabi mong liability, sasapakin na naman kita. Hindi yan liability, asset yan. Pero ang mahalaga dyan, meron daw dyang receivable na nagkaroon ng credit balance. Diba yung mga credit balances sa AR, sabi ko kanina, current liability din yon. So, ibig sabihin, as of the moment, meron ka ng 10,000 saka 30,000 na current liability. Next, accrued electric and power bills, accrued expense yan, current liability yan. Share dividends payable is not a liability account. I'll repeat, it is an equity account. Next, mortgage payable, liability yan. Yun nga lang, ang mortgage payable, isama mo na ang loans payable, ang mortgage saka loans payable are both non-current liabilities. Next, financial liabilities held for trading, ayan, current liability yan. Okay, di ba? That is under criteria number 2. If the liability is held for trading, automatic, current yun. So, magkano yung current natin? 10 plus 30 plus 30,000 again plus 125. Next, cash dividends payable. Ang cash dividends payable po is a non-trade payable. Diba ang non-trade payable para maging current liability, anong sabi ko kanina? Kailangan within 12 months. Ang sabi niya 13 months. So dahil 13 months, hindi yan current liability. Pero ingat lang kung nakalagay dyan trade payable kahit na 13 months, ang assumption current liability pa yan. Current liability pa rin. Kasi kahit na lagpas 12 months, ina-assume na within operating cycle pa rin siya. Okay, next, unearned income, yes, current liability yan. Ito na, pag nakahiwala yung unearned sa deferred income, sabi ko nga, ang deferred income is a non-current liability. Okay, kaya pag sinamarize natin, magkano ang current liability? So, that is 10 plus 30 plus 30 plus 125 plus 20,000. Our total current liabilities would be 215,000. Diba? Walang ka-challenge. No brainer. Just follow what we have discussed. Wala pa ako diyang nilagay na item o wala pa tayong sinasagutan na hindi natin na-discuss kanina. Okay, so that would be sample exercise number 1. Gawin nating medyo comprehensive. Okay, punta tayo ng sample exercise number 2. Sir, comprehensive na ba yan? Ikli-ikli lang yan. Halos kapareho lang kanina. Take note, paki-screenshot na kasi 2 page po yung ating sample exercise. So, kala ko sir, no-brainer. Medyo mahaba pala to. Okay, so again paki-screenshot na muna kasi 2 page yung ating given information. Pero ang requirement lang din yan, magkano ang total current liability. Okay, Cho Corporation provided the following data. So again, let us analyze kung current liability ba siya o hindi. Okay, accrued taxes payable, may additional information na binigay. So siguro it is better for us to read the additional information first para hindi na tayo pabalik-balik. Okay, in relation to the 12% notes payable, the entity entered into a refinancing agreement. Naku, nagsama na ang BPI sa BPI-DO Bank to refinance 75% of the notes on December 15, 2019. Okay, sino yung tinutukoy niyang 12% note payable? Ito yung nasa kabila yun. Ito yung second to the last. 12% note payable maturing on October 31, 2020. Kung yan lang sana ang given information, automatic current liability yan. Bakit? Yan yung tinatawag nating long-term liability currently maturing. Kasi ang date natin ngayon, December 31, 2019. So kung October 31 yan, magmamature yan next year. So kung wala sana yung additional information, current liability yan. Kaso anong sabi niya? Nagkaroon daw ng refinancing. 'Di ba ang rule sa refinancing, anong unang titignan mo muna? According to the concept map, ang unang titignan kung may right to refinance. Sinabi man ng problem na may right to refinance? Wala. Okay, dahil walang right to refinance, tignan mo kung kailan nag-refinance. Kailan sila nag-refinance? Ang sabi ng problem, December 15. Is that on or before or after? The answer is on or before. At dahil on or before yan, it is an adjusting event from current, magiging non-current liability na siya. Pero ang kagandahan dito, hindi lahat. Ang ni-refinance lang niya, 75% lang. So, ibig sabihin, kung 75% lang ang refinanced, it means 75% lang ang maa-adjust. So 75% lang ang magiging non-current liability. 25% pa rin ang current liability. So remember this one ha. Mamaya pa nagsagot tayo, ang current liability in relation to your 12% notes payable na 1.5 million is just 25%. Okay, hindi po 75%, 25% ang current, 75% non-current. Okay, next, number 2. The term of the 8% loans payable. Okay, yan yung tinutukoy niya would be the last item, yung 500,000. Ayan, sa pinakadulo. The term of the 8% loans payable give the holder a right to demand immediate payment kapag hindi raw nagbayad ng monthly interest payment within 10 days of the date the payment is due. And on December 31, 2019, Cho is 3 months behind in paying its required interest payment. Diba ang usapan natin, monthly ka magbabayad. Kailangan magbayad ka within 10 days. Ang sabi ng problem, 3 buwan ka ng delay sa pagbabayad ng interest. So malamang dahil 3 buwan ka ng delay, the holder or the creditor has a right now to demand immediate payment. So number 2 is all about breach of covenant or breach of contract. So kung wala na sanang ibang sinabi, automatic yung 8% loans payable ay magiging current liability. Kasi kung papansinin mo sa given data kanina, non-current dapat yan eh. Bakit? Kasi magmamature pa siya July 1, 2021, 2 years after pa. Pero dahil sa statement number 2 na nagkaroon ng breach of covenant, current liability na siya. Kaso hindi pa tapos eh, may karugtong pa. On January 4, 2020, the bank agreed to give Cho a 180-day grace period to pay the outstanding balance. So take note, ang una mong titingnan according sa concept map ng breach of covenant, tignan muna kung may grace period o wala. Meron bang binigay? Yes sir, meron po, 180 days. Next na titignan mo, kailan binigay? On or before o after? Sir, binigay po siya ng after. Dahil after binigay, non-adjusting event yon. Di mo ba napapansin? Palagi kapag nagkakaroon ng agreement, after year end, non-adjusting siya. Pag sinabing non-adjusting, you will stick to the original classification. Kanina, sa refinancing, ang original classification, current liability. Kaya non-adjusting event, mananatiling current. Sa breach of covenant, ang original classification, current din. Kaya dahil non-adjusting event, definitely, ang classification ng liability would still be current. Okay, yung buong 500,000 current liability. Okay, next. Lahat daw ng interest payment ay binabayaran annually except for the 8% loans payable. Sir, anong purpose ng pangatlong additional information? Yung pangatlong additional information is expressing na wala pang accrued interest na ginawa ang kumpanya. Kaya mapapansin mo mamaya, ang accrued expense mo lang yata is accrued tax lang. Alam naman natin, ang accrued interest expense is also a current liability. So, we will accrue interest later on to compute your total current liability. Okay, last additional information na would be your bank overdraft. Sabi niya, bank overdraft is part of the cash management strategy. Actually, that is one of the exception ng cash and cash equivalence na topic. Ang bank overdraft, kapag na-meet yung criteria na yan, hindi na siya current liability. Magiging part na siya ng cash, ibabawas na siya doon sa cash balance. So again, I'll repeat, because of that statement, hindi na current liability yung bank overdraft, but rather being presented or i-offset na natin sa balanse ng cash. Okay, so balikan lang natin yung ating mga line items. Sino sa kanila ang current liability? Accrued taxes payable, yes, current yan. Trade notes payable, ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina. Even though 15 months yung nakikita mo dyan, dahil trade note yan or trade payable, automatic current liability pa rin yan. Kasi ina-assume it is to be settled within normal operating cycle. Next, 10% serial bond. So, malamang may interest tayong kukumputin dito mamaya. Babayaran siya ng 10 annual payments. So, yung 1 million, hindi lahat ng 1 million current. Ang current lang dyan, 100,000 lang. That is 1 million divided by 10 installments. Okay? Tapos, mamaya, sa pag-compute ng interest, since in-issue siya ngayong taon, October 1, ang interest pa lang niyan is from October to December or equivalent to 3 months. Next is estimated expenses of meeting warranties or estimated warranty liability, current yan. Sabi ko nga, pagdating sa provision or estimated liability, ang generally ang current liability lang doon would be premiums and then warranty liability. Bank overdraft, current liability sana, pero dahil sinabi nung additional information number 4, cash na siya, ibabawa siya sa cash balance. Deferred tax liability, sir, sinabi magre-reverse next year. Yan yung panggulo dito, yan yung parang pang-trick nung problem. Even though sinabi na magre-reverse next year, always remember, sinabi ng standard, ito lang ang nag-iisang liability na palaging non-current. Okay, deferred tax liability is the only liability always presented as non-current. So, ibig sabihin, non-current yung 100,000. Next, reserve for contingency. Nako, appropriation sa RE yan, hindi kasama yan dito. And then, doon sa 12% notes payable, sabi ko nga, 75% non-current, 25% current pa din. And then, yung 8% loans payable, kumpleto yan, buo yung current liability. At pagdating sa accrued interest niyan, ang sabi ng problem, lahat ng interest, annual ang bayad. Ibig sabihin, huling nagbayad ng interest sa 12% notes payable noong October 31, 2019. Ang susunod na bayad sana, October 31, 2020. So kung October 31, 2019 ang huling bayad, meron ka pang 2 buwan na hindi na babayaran ng 2019. So 2 months na accrued interest yan. Ganon din dapat ang rule dito sa 8%. So kung July 1 siya magmamature, ibig sabihin every July 1 ang bayaran ng interest. Pero sinabi rin ng additional information, all except, di ba, balik kami yung additional information number 3. All interest payments are made annually except. Bakit except yung 8%? Kasi ang bayaran ng 8% ay monthly daw. At sinabi ng additional information number 2, ilang buwan nang hindi nakapagbayad ng interest? Ang sabi niya, 3 buwan. So, ang accrued interest niyan would be 3 months. Okay, kaya naman, if we will provide or we will compute this solution, ang solution niyan is accrued taxes payable, trade note payable, 10% serial bonds, pero 100,000 lang, sinabi ko kanina yan. Warranty liability, 40,000. Yung 12% note payable, ito yung na-refinance, pero 75% lang ang refinanced, so 75% lang ang non-current, 25% current. And then, yung, nakalimutan ko yung breach of covenant. Okay, yung accrued interest natin would be 10% serial bonds payable na 1 million times 10% times 3/12. Then, yung 12% na notes payable, 2/12. And then yung 8% loans payable, 3/12 kasi 3 months na siyang behind sa interest. Okay? So take note lang, nakalimutan ko sa solution, pero ang dapat na solution niyan, kasama dapat yung loans payable, yung may breach of covenant, which is 500,000. So ang gawin na lang natin, that is 735 plus 500,000, dapat ang tamang amount niyan is 1,235,000. Okay, so I'll repeat, kasama dapat yung 500,000 regarding breach of covenant. Okay, so ang total current liability talaga dapat natin should be 1,235,000. Okay, so this will conclude our Part 1 video lecture on current liability. On our next video lectures, we will discuss those specific current liability na merong lettering kanina nung in-enumerate natin sa example. Iisa-isahin natin siya on our next video lecture. Okay, so thank you so much. Stay tuned and God bless you all.